Job, chapter 9. Job said,
"What you say is true. No human is innocent in the sight of God. Not once in 1,000 times could we win our case if we took him to court. God is wise and powerful. Who could possibly oppose him and win? When God becomes angry, he can move mountains before they even know it. God can shake the earth loose from its foundations or command the sun and stars to hold back their light. God alone stretched out the sky, stepped on the sea, and set the stars in place. The Big Dipper and Orion, the Pleiades and the stars in the southern sky. Of all the miracles God works, we cannot understand a one. God walks right past me without making a sound, and if he grabs something, who can stop him or raise a question? When God showed his anger, the servants of the sea monster fell at his feet. How then could I possibly argue my case with God? Even though I am innocent, I can only beg for mercy. And if God came into court when I called him, he would not hear my case. He would strike me with a storm and increase my injuries for no reason at all. Before I could get my breath, my miseries would multiply. God is much stronger than I am, and who would call me into court to give me justice? Even if I were innocent, God would prove me wrong. I am not guilty, but I no longer care what happens to me. What difference does it make? God destroys the innocent along with the guilty. When a good person dies a sudden death, God sits back and laughs. And who else but God blindfolds the judges, then lets the wicked take over the earth? My life is speeding by without a hope of happiness. Each day passes swifter than a sailing ship or an eagle swooping down. Sometimes I try to be cheerful and to stop complaining, but my sufferings frighten me, because I know that God still considers me guilty. So what's the use of trying to prove my innocence? Even if I washed myself with the strongest soap, God would throw me into a pit of stinking slime, leaving me disgusting to my clothes. God isn't a mere human like me. I can't put him on trial. Who could possibly judge between the two of us? Can someone snatch away the stick God carries to frighten me? Then I could speak up without fear of him. But for now, I cannot speak.
Job, chapter 10.
I am sick of life, and from my deep despair I complain to you, my God. Don't just condemn me. Point out my sin. Why do you take such delight in destroying those you created and in smiling on sinners? Do you look at things the way we humans do? Is your life as short as ours? Is that why you are so quick to find fault with me? You know I am innocent, but who can defend me against you? Will you now destroy someone you created? Remember that you molded me like a piece of clay, so don't turn me back into dust once again. As cheese is made from milk, you created my body from a tiny drop. Then you tied my bones together with muscles and covered them with flesh and skin. You, the source of my life, showered me with kindness and watched over me. You have not explained all of your mysteries, but you catch and punish me each time I sin. Guilty or innocent, I am condemned and ashamed because of my troubles. No matter how hard I try, you keep hunting me down like a powerful lion. You never stop accusing me. You become furious and attack over and over again. Why did you let me be born? I would rather have died before birth and been carried to the grave without ever breathing. I have only a few days left. Why don't you leave me alone? Let me find some relief before I travel to the land of darkness and despair, the place of no return.
Job, chapter 11. Zophar from Naamah said,
So much foolish talk cannot go unanswered. Your words have silenced others and made them ashamed. Now it is only right for you to be put to shame. You claim to be innocent and argue that your beliefs are acceptable to God. But I wish he would speak and let you know that wisdom has many different sides. You would then discover that God has punished you less than you deserve. Can you understand the mysteries surrounding God all-powerful? They are higher than the heavens and deeper than the grave. So what can you do when you know so little, and these mysteries outreach the earth and the ocean? If God puts you in prison or drags you to court, what can you do? God has the wisdom to know when someone is worthless and sinful, but it's easier to tame a wild donkey than to make a fool wise. Surrender your heart to God, turn to him in prayer, and give up your sins, even those you do in secret. Then you won't be ashamed. You will be confident and fearless. Your troubles will go away like water beneath a bridge, and your darkest night will be brighter than noon. You will rest safe and secure, filled with hope and emptied of worry. You will sleep without fear and be greatly respected. But those who are evil will go blind and lose their way. Their only escape is death.
Job, chapter 12. Job said to his friends,
You think you are so great, with all the answers. But I know as much as you do, and so does everyone else. I have always lived right, and God answered my prayers. Now friends make fun of me. It's easy to condemn those who are suffering when you have no troubles. Robbers and other godless people live safely at home and say, God is in our hands. If you want to learn, then go and ask the wild animals and the birds, the flowers and the fish. Any of them can tell you what the Lord has done. Every living creature is in the hands of God. We hear with our ears, taste with our tongues, and gain some wisdom from those who have lived a long time. But God is the real source of wisdom and strength. No one can rebuild what he destroys or release those he has imprisoned. God can hold back the rain or send a flood just as he rules over liars and those they lie to. God destroys counselors, turns judges into fools, and makes slaves of kings. God removes priests and others who have great power. He confuses wise, experienced advisors, puts mighty kings to shame, and takes away their power. God turns darkness to light. He makes nations strong, then shatters their strength. God strikes their rulers senseless, then leaves them to roam through barren deserts, lost in the dark, staggering like someone drunk.